Okay, so there you go. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. What do we make? Do you want to go through? Should we just dive straight into these photographs?
Let's
and
do it. Yeah,
walk our way through them.
We've done our impressions. Let's walk through the photos.
Okay, so there's image 1 in our Dropbox. There's a link in the description to the show, so if you want to follow along with us, go down and click on that. It should take you straight to the images.
Oh, cool.
So we've got Jin.
Yep.
Erso, her name is Erso.
Yes.
Played by Felicity Jones. Immediately, this feels like Star Wars to me. Immediately, with that beautiful, and this is Alexander. Is it Desplat or Desplat? What is his? I don't know how to pronounce the gent's name. The composer. This is his music, I believe.
The piano version, isn't it?
Yeah, the piano version of the Force theme, is it?
Yeah, I think so. It's lovely. It's really nicely done.
It's gorgeous. I actually reached out to David W. Collins today, trying to provoke a reaction from him. He's the guy that does Star Wars Oxygen on the Rebel Force Radio network.
Okay, yeah.
And he's a music aficionado, this guy is.
Okay.
He's forgotten more than you and I will ever know.
I believe it.
He's fantastic. So I was trying to force a reaction out of him. I wanted to know what he thinks of it, because he had a lot to say about the music for the Force Awakens trailers, because they weren't really, they were orchestrated electronically. They weren't the real deal in the trailers, and I wanted to know what he thought of this, but I really dug it. I like that.
I liked it.
That take on it. I thought it was great.
It's the same. It's familiar but different, and that's what they're kind of shooting for with this film. Yeah. It's supposed to slot into lore, but it's supposed to be different enough that, like you said, it's not going to convince anybody who thought they were seeing Episode 8 that they were right. You know, there's a certain disconnect that runs throughout.
Yeah, and
it's quite nice. And also, I mean, we're looking at shot 1, and the Rebel uniforms are all very
isn't it?
Authentic iconic. And yeah, exactly,
absolutely iconic. Why didn't they ever make an action figure of that guy?
I feel like they must have.
They probably did, but not in the first wave of Kenner stuff when I was buying them as a kid. No, that was nowhere to be seen. But
yeah,
I just loved this. I think that it was inspired to have that as the first shot, because that really does place me in A New Hope time period.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's the way I felt. What we still on picture 1?
I've moved on to picture 2, because you can see a good image of
some pilots.
The guy on the left, and there's the X-wing suits, isn't it?
Yeah, the flight suits for. We've seen them in X-wings. I think they've got different colour ones for things like B-wings and A-wings, haven't they?
Yes, so more red in the B-wings.
That's right.
I don't know what that writing is on his helmet. I don't know what it means.
This way up.
I don't think that's Aurebesh, is it? I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so. This is this way up.
This way up, yeah. Skid lid.
If you can read this, you're walking too close.
Yeah. So at this point in the trailer, we've got dialogue over the top as well of her being interviewed for one.
Has he got a lightsaber in his pocket?
No, it's a blaster, I think.
Oh, okay.
Could be a blaster. It could also be one of those because they've got in episode 4 when they're guiding the X-wings down, they've got those sort of coloured rods. Yeah. So it might be one of them.
Yeah, it could be.
Could be somebody who's just come off duty or something like that.
They got it from Heathrow.
There you go.
Yeah. If you go on to the next image,
yes,
you can see her hands are cuffed.
They are. That was interesting to me. It makes me wonder if she's been. Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? Because obviously she's clearly being convinced to join the rebels, but they don't trust her yet because she's cuffed and she's been brought before what we're going to assume is Mon Mothma. She's been brought before her, cuffed up. So they're obviously not sure what she's going to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think there's been a rumour for a while that this character of Jin is going to be the daughter of a character called Galen, played by
Mads
Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
Who may have had a hand in designing, or at least putting the finishing touches to the construction of the Death Star.
Yeah.
So it might be that she's helping the rebellion here, but not entirely of her own free will. Perhaps it's the promise of undermining her father's work that motivates her.
Or it could be that they know who she is, and by an extension who he is, and they're not going to. They don't trust her straight away because they don't see. They think it's a double bluff or a trick or something like that.
Yeah.
In the left-hand side of the shot, does it look like a CCTV camera just pointed up at her?
Yeah.
Well, I've just noticed Gonk droid on the right.
Yeah,
That's fantastic, isn't it? That Gonk
lovely touch. And they're loading up some sort of big pallet type thing.
Yeah, you got a guy in there doing his best Han Solo impression. I wonder if that's Anthony and Gruber.
I was thinking that looked like Han Solo.
Oh, it'd be amazing if it was Anthony and Gruber, wasn't it?
Wouldn't it? That'd be good.
Yeah.
Are we going to see Leia in this one?
I wouldn't have thought so.
Might do.
Maybe.
Not obviously
maybe
not Carrie.
Maybe in a passing shot at the end of the film.
That's what I think.
Although they could CGI her face, couldn't they? I mean, there's no reason why not.
They could use Billy Lord.
In a couple of images' time, there's that droid that we've spoken about, and I'll mention again my theory then that might bring Leia in. But if you move on, to the next image, you've got the X-wing, the traditional X-wing,
of course,
being brought in, and
you've got those trolleys that they were using to bring pilots to and from.
Yes,
as well.
Also taken from Heathrow.
Yes, yeah.
And
what's Heathrow? You won't know yet. So, oh, come on.
If you look in the background,
there's a little baggage claim sign.
Yeah, there's a guy in a B-wing fighter.
Who's the guy doing the very gay stance on the wing with his teapot?
Hang on, have we jumped ahead?
No, still the X-wing one.
I can't make it out very well.
If you look to the right, right in the centre of frame.
Oh yeah, I've got him. Yeah, it looks like he's draped in.
It looks like a lemur.
It's just the way the shot was done. There's a bloke's arm you can see, like just kind of over the top of him. I thought he was draped in an American flag.
Oh.
When I first glanced, I was like, "Come on."
That's patriotic.
What's a lemur, Mark?
A lemur, like a monkey.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I'm trying to think what you mean. But where is that in the shot?
If you look on the right hand side, you've got a guy in a bright red flight suit.
Yeah.
Looks like a lemur.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, it looks like Father Christmas.
Yeah, Father Christmas lemur.
Yes. Yeah, that is a strange, big, very wide eyes. Wide apart.
You want iconic shots? Move on to the next one. So at this point in the trailer, we're getting to the real meat of it now, with Jin being brought in to meet with someone we're going to see in just a second. But look at these control panels. This is the staging area for the assault on the Death Star in Episode 4, isn't it?
Yeah, this is classic Rebel Command Center.
Absolutely classic. So we know that this is right at the time that they're getting ready to take this thing down.
Now, I should know this, but Mon Mothma isn't even incidentally in Episode 4, is she?
She's not, no.
Nope.
So she first appears in Jedi.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next image then, because as Jin's moved in, she's being addressed now by Mon Mothma, and they're talking about all the recalcitrant behaviour that Jin's been displaying. So all this, like Steve, what you said about the assaults and things like that. So here we've got Genevieve O'Reilly, who's playing Mon Mothma, who we'd spoken about, I think, before we were recording, was actually cast as Mon Mothma in Revenge of the Sith and then was cut.
Yes.
Now, it's that sort of continuity
that's going to help a lot.
I find that so inspiring.
Yes.
That even though she was never on screen, she was in the finished deleted scenes on the Blu-ray, she was never on screen, but they haven't recast this role.
Yeah.
They've kept her because she was the right actor for the role.
Yeah, realistically, they could have made the argument that only 11 years have passed since Revenge of the Sith, and obviously 18, I think we're led to believe about 18 years have passed between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So in theory, they could have got away with saying, oh no, we need to recast her because there's an age gap. But I'm glad they've stuck to their guns, and
I am.
Kind of, because I think she just looks spot on.
And look in the background, on the left-hand side.
Yep.
That guy looks like he's just stepped out of Episode 4. The guy with the beard.
They totally, but they both do.
It looks like General Dodonna.
He does a bit, yeah. It could well be him. It could be, obviously it's not him.
This guy, obviously, to look like that character.
Well, look at that thing on the left lapel of his shirt, because that's the thing to look at Episode 4 in. See if he's got
QR code, isn't it? What do you get?
It's the Purina logo.
I was going to say Purina.
Yeah.
It is. What do you get if you scan it in? Is it like a QR code?
Yeah, it's a link to Talk Star Wars.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thanks for that, guys. Thanks, Disney. That's really kind of you.
And we've got another beauty shot of Felicity Jones, where she's really starting to get sold on this.
She's looking at me as I move.
I was going to say number 7 to shot 7 to shot 8. She just kind of goes, "What are you guys talking about?"
Yeah, I actually grabbed that exact frame because that's the cover art for this episode of the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Her looking straight at. Actually, I've got a choice of two. I think this one's probably going to be the cover art, but the other one is her in the disguise we see at the end.
Yeah.
But then if we move on now, we get Diego Luna's character,
Yes,
He's got a
we
slightly
do.
different Purina logo.
We have. Well, that's
Two
the kind of.
lozenges.
I like that. It's really nice.
I love that
I
jacket.
don't know why. I don't know why. I like the jacket, and I like the little badge thing he's wearing. I want one.
Now look at his jacket. Look at the pinstripes up the side. It's like Han's
Yeah, it
blood
does look
stripes
like
on
it.
his
So
trousers.
maybe he's a kind of character with a complex past.
Carillion. He's got a Han Solo
Could be.
shirt as well.
It's not quite a blood stripe, though, is it?
No, not quite, but
No.
it's not a million miles.
I've heard
removed.
rumblings. This is obviously all speculation at this point, but I've heard rumblings that people are starting to think he might be a Dameron.
Yes, I heard that on.
He looks like the character from Shattered Empire.
Yeah, that was
So
on
they're thinking it might be him.
MakingStarWars.net this week
Yeah,
because they said initially I think his name was. I think they think his name now is Cassian something. Cassian Willard, I think.
all right.
But I think there was talk that they were talking about
Him being
Dameron,
like a Dameron,
Cassian
yeah.
Dameron or something. I
mean,
was just trying to look it up, but I won't.
I'll go for it. It's a nice kind of, it doesn't detract from the story if he is or he isn't really. It doesn't really make any odds.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think he looks great. I think he really looks the part.
Yeah, I think he belongs in Star Wars. He looks like he belongs in Star Wars for sure.
Then we move on. So now we're getting the shots. Trying to remember what the dialogue is in the trailer. I think we're hearing now that she's.
Isn't this just
listing.
before she says I'm a rebel?
Yeah, they're listing her.
Right, it's a rebellion. That's it.
Crimes, aren't they? Really, and
Yes.
you're about to see her and in Stormtroopers. They're just desserts. He says, "Try not to swear on his own podcast."
Yeah. That's one of the bugbears I have, and it happens twice in the trailer.
Right.
With her and Donnie Yen.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about those melee weapons that, to me, says they should be able to take down a stormtrooper through their armor.
Right.
Now, obviously, we've seen in Force Awakens their sort of stun battens and things like that.
Yeah.
It seems to me like that would have been an easy one to just have.
But she switches up to a blaster pretty quickly in this.
She does.
Shot,
This is true.
doesn't she?
Yes, she does. But at the same time, to me, the idea of meleeing a stormtrooper doesn't feel like it should be as effective as they are in the trailer.
No.
You know what I mean?
Maybe they haven't. Maybe they just haven't added the effects of like sparks or.
It seems.
Yeah, it could be.
It seems like a weird shot to put in the trailer if you're gonna then touch it up in post production. It seems like an odd choice.
Even like you say, it's not even. It's like a flick stick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like just
Yeah.
like a baton. It's just like a bit, just a stick.
Maybe it's just showing us how formidable she is.
Yeah. Yeah,
if
maybe.
you look at this shot of her, this street that she's in, this marketplace, if you like,
Yeah.
looks like it could be. Looks a bit like Tatooine. Maybe it's a little bit more populated than Tatooine. Could be Lothal.
Yeah, I was going to say it doesn't look like Tatooine in the background. It looks a
Lothal
bit
in Rebels is very much like this.
Could be, yeah.
So it could be Lothal maybe. But in the background behind her, you can see the spindly droid. That's Alan Tudyk's character.
You can just about make out part of his arm and one leg. Oh no, hang on, that's a boot.
There's the shot of her wearing the burqa.
Yeah.
It's after the one where we were looking at Diego Luna, and then you've got a shot of her wearing a burqa as she's creeping down an alleyway, and right behind her is Alan Tudyk's
I was going to ask about Alan Tudyk.
Just like spindles. I can see spindles.
Yeah, spindly arms.
Yeah.
So
Very
he's
spindly.
is he doing mocap and voice?
He's doing performance capture and voice, and I think. Oh, I see what you're looking at, Rob, on the next image. Yeah, I think. Let's cut to it now. I think that he will be the last man standing in this movie. I know we've discussed it on the podcast before, but I suspect that everybody else is going to come off worse in this movie.
Yeah.
Including her.
Including her, I think, at the hands of Vader, I would imagine. But I think the droid will sneak through, and he will deliver the plans to, and this is where we might get a Princess Leia cameo, to a young Leia and Bail Organa. And then we'll hand off immediately to Episode 4.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool. All right, we've got another shot of Mon Mothma. So now it seems like she's pretty much sold on joining the rebellion, and that's when we get that comment that she says, I'm a rebel. Oh, no, this is a rebellion.
I rebel.
I'm a rebel. Superb. So now we see her on a landing craft of some type, and I deliberately included this shot because it's got a nice bit of lens flare in there, and I wanted to give JJ a break because he didn't do that.
It's not just him. They're all guilty of it at some point.
But also looks really cool. It looks really tangible.
It's interesting because it looks like she's on a train.
Yeah.
But obviously there's not really...
But we've seen it. We've seen a train,
stuff.
haven't we?
There
is a train later on in this trailer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Or something that's vaguely representing the train. Anyway,
Yeah.
we move on and we get this shot now. So Mon Mothma is still informing Jin about what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
She's saying there's a super weapon. They need more about it. They need more knowledge about what the weapon is and how to take it down.
It's the weapons test they're talking about, isn't it? There's a weapons test. You need to know what it is and how to stop it or something like that.
Is it me, or is that the Star Destroyer got an extra opening in front of the large opening?
It does, doesn't it?
It does look like it has, yeah.
I think there are more than one on the Star Destroyer. You just don't necessarily see them open all at the same time.
And also on the top of its dome, at the top,
It's got a little sky dish, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like an X, like
Or a spring.
Yeah.
Well, what that is, I've not seen that before either.
Maybe it's being used to ferry stuff around.
Well, it's also got
it
two
could be
of those ball things.
Yeah, and actually
only
we
have
could.
one.
It will come to. No, they have two, don't they? One on each side.
I'm so surprised by the scale of the Death Star.
Well, I mean, we always knew it was big.
Yeah, but this big. I mean, that little Star Destroyer nearest to the dish, to the emitter.
Yeah.
It's being
it
dwarfed.
always was. When they
Absolutely.
first fly to it in the Falcon,
It's a moon.
Is massive because you go into a trench and then into an even bigger trench inside
Yes,
that trench.
and he refers to it as a moon.
Yeah.
You know.
That's no
But I'm now
So-
looking at the image of the dish being lowered into place.
I have a theory on this. So yeah, I'm thinking it's just being finished. You know, it's as in, the last day, maybe just filling out admin for most people, and then one poor sod who's lowering the dish on. And like you say, maybe they're using it to ferry. Although if you look, there's three Star Destroyers on the right hand side of this shot, right?
Yeah.
If you look, I mean, obviously without ballooning these up, I can't be sure, but it looks to me like they've all got that little X thing on them.
Yeah.
So I wonder if maybe it's a modification they made to these particular ones, or
I'm just going to bed in a picture of one of the original. You're right, there are two balls.
Yeah.
But look at the differences.
I know my balls.
Yeah. Look at the X thing isn't really an X on the original. It's
It's not. You're
just a straight across bit.
Yeah.
They're a lot more fiddly, the old ones. Not a lot of sort of bits sticking out, and I couldn't get the underside, but
maybe they are a different class.
Yeah, I mean, there's not going to be a huge amount in it because, I mean, obviously I don't know how much of them are still canon, but there have been previous classes of Star Destroyer like Imperial, Victory, and stuff like that. And there's interdictors, but they look totally different because they're designed to do a different job. But I think that maybe these might be, some of them might be Victory class, some of them might be Imperial class.
Yeah,
because I mean that's one thing we know is the Imperial Star Destroyer I believe is the bigger one. And I think maybe we're looking at Victory class. Maybe they're designed to look a bit smaller against the Death Star because they are physically smaller.
When you say the Imperial one, do you mean Vader's
No, that's the Super Star Destroyer.
Executor? Oh yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thinking
these are Imperials, aren't they?
Well, I'm thinking these might be Victory class because
So
they might
they're
be
a little
slightly
smaller.
They might be a little smaller.
Which
look a little
explains
ever so slightly different, but
Yeah.
not by much. Because the Imperial one in episode 4 is enormous.
The one that chases down the blockade runner. Yeah.
Exactly. But then, I don't think we ever see that one next to the Death Star, so that might look a bit bigger in scale. So
You do see it in episode 4. You do see it sort of approaching the Death Star. But
you do.
It
That's
takes up most of the frame. The Death Star's way off in the distance.
I'm just looking for. I've found a kind of chart. There we go. I'll chuck this in the. It's got.
Okay.
You might want to put this actually, Mark, if it's not going to breach any copyright, into with
I think
the
that ship
podcast.
has sailed.
I'm just sending it to you now, but that's a brilliant.
Oh, that's great.
schematic.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah, we might use that in a post, but I don't think I'll put it in the show notes because last time I put images in the show notes, it derailed the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
it's got
see,
all of
there you go. Victory class is similar shape but a bit smaller.
Yeah.
So I wonder if maybe that is so the Imperial is the one we see in episode 4, and these are Victory class Star Destroyers.
Now, bear in mind when the second Death Star's built, or it's probably been built at this point, but by the time that's in use, it's bigger than the original Death Star, isn't it? The one in Jedi.
I think so. Yeah.
It's larger, and the Executor crashes into the surface.
Yes.
And the surface is flat. There's no curvature The horizon.
It has to be enormous.
The plane has to be enormous. Where do they get all the resources? Where do they mine this ore to build this stuff?
Yeah.
Must be a lot of barren worlds out there.
Well, that's the impression I get from, certainly from the Legends canon, you kind of get the impression they've been exploiting a lot of worlds for resources.
Yeah. And there was a whole thing in the Clone Wars about money as well.
Yes.
The Emperor sort of stole a bunch of money to finance it. But
where do you
do something?
In the Star Wars films, obviously the Executor class is the one that goes into the asteroid field, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where do you see a Malevolent class? I've never seen that.
I think that's probably Expanded Universe.
Oh, okay. And Inquisitor.
Yeah, Inquisitor class is Expanded Universe as well. I think a lot of these are. There's no. That's interesting. There's no interdictors, because interdictors are kind of similar. Like they're not the same shape, but they're kind of built from the same family, as far as I know.
Are they newer in terms of canon?
They're Legends canon.
Right.
But I don't know if they might have been reintroduced. Some stuff has.
Yeah, a lot of it's going to be, I think, but on their own terms.
Yeah, exactly. They just do it as they kind of decide, what makes sense and stuff. There was one of my friends pointed out to me that at one point, Nar Shaddaa was canon, but Nal Hutta wasn't. And Nar Shaddaa was the moon of Nal Hutta. So the moon was canon, but the planet wasn't, or something like that.
And now Nal Hutta is
And
canon.
now both of them are, yeah.
There might be a bit of that in episode 8, actually.
Maybe, yeah.
So moving back into the trailer, we got
Yes.
this chap that's been talking to Ginny. Looks like he's going to be
Her kind of point of contact.
handler or something.
He's got loads of lozenges. Do you reckon he's got a throat infection?
I think he has, yeah.
Because they look like strepsils to me.
Probably thrush.
Could be, or they look like strepsils.
And if you look at the next shot of Felicity Jones, she's looking at him very suspiciously,
As
thinking,
if to say, like, I recognise that
what
redness.
have you got, you
Yeah, you dirty
filthy
boy.
beast? And then the next shot we get, this is where the alarm comes into place,
Yes.
and you start to get this heartbeat through the trailer
Yes.
of the rebel troops sort of running out of the Masasi temple on Yavin 4, if we're right.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
I think-
You've got
I
your
think
little
we're
Gonk droid.
Yeah.
Look at
You got
all
your
the
X-Wing in
different types
background.
of troops as well. You've got your X-Wing pilots,
Yep.
and you've got the rebel ground troops as well.
Mm-hmm.
They look like they've just stepped out of Return of the Jedi.
Well, that guy looks
Yeah.
like he's off of Endor on the right next to
Yeah,
Doc,
he does.
Yeah, yeah.
And
with
then
that helmet.
and then between him and Gonk, you've got another guy cosplaying as Han Solo in the background there,
Ian Glover again.
and that very welcome sight of that X-wing fighter. And there's a little
Yes.
R2 unit on the back of that X-wing fighter as well.
Where's
So,
R5?
yes, that's your R5, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, is
If
he
you look
R? Is he
in the
R5?
plug it into the X-Wing, I think that's enough. It's certainly an R. It's maybe an R4 or
Yeah,
an
no,
R5.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
Right, the next shot. This is something I think is really going to get some.
This is why I'm excited.
This is going to get some juices flowing, isn't it?
Do you know? I tell you why I'm excited.
Who is it, Rob?
That is an Imperial Grand Admiral's uniform.
And do we think it's Thrawn?
No,
No,
because Thrawn's blue.
but you don't think he's going to be retconned slightly?
No, not like that. No.
This is fantastic, though, isn't it? This
What a
is
shot.
the actor is Ben Mendelsohn,
Yeah,
and I don't know how familiar you are with the work of Ben Mendelsohn.
I'm not.
He is spectacular.
Is he really?
Absolutely spectacular. He makes my skin crawl in just about every role I've seen him in.
Okay.
I saw him in Killing Them Softly, is it, with Brad Pitt? The Place Beyond the Pines. He was also another skeevy little weasel in that. And hands down, the best thing I've ever seen him in is a show called Bloodlines on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I was just having a look at his IMDb here. He's in Dark Knight Rises, but I can't remember
Fantastic.
what he
Yes, he played the guy
Oh,
who was
I know. I
running
recognise
Bane.
him. He's just like one of Bane's gits, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's the guy that Catwoman thinks has got the blank slate.
Yeah.
He's an amazing actor. He's fantastic. And to think
brilliant.
that they're
Okay.
bringing in such a heavyweight into this role as well. I mean, there is talk that there's going to be Peter Cushing. There's going to be a CGI
Yeah.
Peter Cushing. I imagine these two being at loggerheads.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's clearly on,
Is he got?
Well, he's like I say, that's an Imperial Grand Admiral's uniform.
and he's on the Death Star there, right?
It seems to me he is, yeah. Or
What's he got in weapon wise? Hanging.
it looks
down?
like a long tip blaster, doesn't it?
It does. I wonder if it's a cane that
Well,
works as a blaster.
I would think that if it wasn't for the fact that later on in the trailer you see a shot of him actually on the world.
Yeah, walking through the water.
Maybe the resemblance to the Grand Admiral's uniform is kind of coincidental, and we're actually just looking at a kind of a pursuer. who's going to be sort of after them for the duration of the film, trying to stop their scheme.
I don't know. He seems pretty.
I hope he's. I
he
hope
seems pretty important.
I really want that to be a Grand Admiral's uniform, because I want there to be more Grand Admirals, because they're going to.
Yeah.
I know from reading an article, I think there's a plan to introduce Thrawn into Rebels.
There is, I think, yeah.
And I'm well up for that, as long as they don't tinker too much with his origin story, because his origin story is one of the reasons his character is so good. Because he's an alien who's from the unknown regions, and the Imperials don't want aliens. They're big on, there's a lot of, galactic racism, or whatever you want to call it, in the Star Wars universe when it comes to the Empire.
Xenophobia.
But Palpatine recognizes Thrawn's abilities so much that he gives him a Grand Admiral's Grand Admiral rank, which don't get handed out very often, and sends him off to I think he sends him off to unknown space, until Heir to the Empire. So as long as they don't tinker too much with why he, him being blue and why he's where he is and stuff, I'd be quite happy if they kept that stuff as it was.
Yeah, and
as much as they can.
Steve, you're familiar with Thrawn as well from those books, aren't you?
Yes, yeah. Heir to the Empire. That's the only one I read, actually. But...
Right.
Oh, okay. I definitely recommend reading the whole series, because the trilogy is nothing short of superb. But like I say, I don't want it to be Thrawn, because if it's Thrawn, they're going to have to redo his origin in a massive way, because for him to be in place there just before Episode 4 has to then,
maybe
change around his origins completely.
Maybe it is just the introduction of this Grand Admiral, though. But I wouldn't be surprised if he seems to me, from this establishing shot in the trailer, that he's a significant presence.
Couldn't you play Peter Cushing's character?
No, definitely not.
Too young.
No, and he was a Grand Moff, wasn't he, Cushing?
Yeah,
far
too young.
He was extremely powerful within the Empire, Tarkin. He was right up there with the Emperor, wasn't he?
Plus, we've seen him in Episode 3 in his Grand Moff's...
Yeah, in the Greys.
Kind of, unless he was a Moff then and now he's Grand Moff. But
I think
it doesn't seem like his rank has gone up too massively in those ensuing years.
I'm pretty sure he's created his own rank, Tarkin.
Probably.
I think he's made a position for himself.
In fact, I think that might be in Legends canon.
This guy, where he's standing on the bridge or the command deck of this Death Star, in that uniform, he looks nothing but confident.
Yep.
Borderline arrogant.
Yep.
I imagine he's there in a significant role. Perhaps we might see him exit the story in this movie.
It could well be, because otherwise you have to explain where he's gone.
Where he was.
Yeah, where he's gone for the original trilogy, because if he's in a position of significant power, which is why I'm starting to wonder if maybe it's just a kind of a nod to the Grand Admiral's uniform, and he's just a sort of a pursuer, a kind of, a foiler of their plan.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine those blue and red strepsil things are medals of some sort.
They're rankings of some sort,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be silly. They don't serve a purpose. They're a bit like Darth Vader's buttons on his suit. They don't actually do. They just flash.
You don't know that they don't do anything.
They do. I press them all.
It's a built-in podcasting equipment.
There are a lot of. I'm just having a look. Actually, I'm seeing a lot of questions about sort of rhetorical questions about whether or not that's Thrawn. But like I say, I don't want it to be, because they would have to make some sweeping changes to his origin.
We'll see how bold they are now, then, Rob, won't we?
This is true.
Right, moving on a little bit, we've got another shot of whatever this planet is, which I think would be great if it was Lothal.
That'd be cool.
Or Stormtroopers.
That Elephant Man from 4?
No, that's an arm going in the other direction.
Yeah, that's a character behind, but that's a big, beefy arm, isn't it?
Yeah,
because he's got the thumb on the wrong side.
Yeah,
the actual
exactly.
character in the foreground is that Elephant Man?
It's a man. It's just a human in a leather
hood.
It's got the same sort of headpiece as Elephant Man, isn't it?
Not far off.
Yeah, I don't think it's the Elephant Man.
I don't know what that character's name, the Elephant Man, is called.
John Merrick. Oh, you mean?
No,
sorry,
begins with a G. I can't remember.
Garandan.
That's him.
Yeah.
So this reveal of Forrest Whitaker. We also hear some dialogue about Forrest Whitaker sort of asking the girl
what are you going to do,
what she thinks of
become and stuff.
Yeah, implying she needs to consider her destiny and her legacy.
Yeah.
I've just heard this week about Forrest Whitaker's uniform or his costume in this movie, and I was really worried when I heard about it. It was being described as a Buzz Lightyear style suit of armour.
Wow, they're really generous on that one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it looks like. It reminds me of the Techno Alliance from episode 2.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that sort of.
He's got a robotic leg
in
this, so it wouldn't surprise me if he has got some of this kit.
He's got an oxygen mask on the front.
Definitely, yeah, he has.
Yeah, could be. But I say it looks to me like the Techno Alliance from episode 2. Yeah. Another one that's like, has to sort of tune in his voice.
Oh, that was awful.
I wonder if maybe it could, but I'm not suggesting he's one of those characters. I think he might maybe scrounge the parts or something.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to keep himself alive with tech, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So straight after Forrest, we get the 11-second shot that I woke up to. The black stormtroopers. Are these like the shadow troopers, I guess? This is what we're hearing about.
Sort of elite commandos.
The elite commandos.
With the black shoulder pad, which obviously is significant.
Yeah.
Because you got red, white, and black.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess.
Are there any other colours?
Gold, I think.
There a yellow.
Gold, maybe,
like yellowy gold one.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Then we get a marketplace. Very Star Warsy marketplace. Lots of hooded alien characters.
They're all cuffed again.
Troops cuffed.
Pilots are all cuffed.
So they're getting beaten, aren't they?
Yeah.
A Jawa on the left. A Jawa.
On the left, no. On the right, no. Not on either of those.
There's one each side.
There's a red.
Yeah.
There's a red.
Just hooded characters, I think.
Yeah, red hooded character. They might be locals to the planet. But they look more like. Do you remember Orko from Master of the Universe?
They do, yeah. They just haven't got the big zero.
Yeah.
The big O on their chest.
There's a young Wedge, or not young, a Wedge Antilles in this.
Maybe.
Well, that's who I thought Diego Luna might have been playing.
Okay.
Not Wedge. Biggs. I thought he was playing Biggs Darklighter.
Oh, Biggs.
Okay.
Is Biggs the one that buys it in the trench?
Yeah. He has the cool little tash, and he has the little cape, and he goes back to Luke, doesn't he, and talks about joining the Alliance and stuff. But if we look at the next shot, we've got what I think is a train. We were talking about a train. It looks like a subway on the right.
That's I believe it's Canary Wharf.
Oh, is it really?
Apparently so. I think Jem was telling me earlier that Rogue One was shot.
Oh, that's
awesome. I thought it was
Oh,
Canary
no,
Wharf.
what they are, Mark, they're the safety doors some tube stations have.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's Canary Wharf. It's Canary Wharf, yeah.
It definitely looks real, doesn't it? And it looks like there are escalators going up as well, the banks of escalators.
Yeah, like I say, it's Canary Wharf tube station.
Brilliant. That's amazing. So there we've got Jin and who we believe is Cassian, Diego Luna's character.
And that's Two-Dick
and
Droid, yeah.
The Two-Dicks Droid. Which I think his name is Double Wang.
Double
Wang.
And then you get another shot. Obviously, the people that are chasing our heroes are all these. And now this is what the guys.
Now here's an interesting.
This is what the guys were talking about. This is what the Tumbling Saber guys that were saying about where's this variety of stormtrooper?
Yeah, there's some.
There's a few there, aren't there?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, actually, that to me looks like it could be an interior of an Imperial base because it's got the same kind of. If you look at the two stormtroopers on the left of the shot, one you can sort of partially obscured.
Yeah.
In between them is a wall that looks very much like Episode 4. Yeah. Looks like the Death Star. It looks like the Death Star.
Yeah,
so I'm wondering if they've got a kind of standard Imperial decorating theme.
Yeah, they have.
I'm not suggesting this is the Death Star because I think actually, although I mean we've only seen a tiny portion of it.
Yeah.
So unless they've gone on to get the plans from the Death Star itself, that'd be incredible.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's awesome. So that's a great shot.
It's a really cool shot. Yeah.
Right. The next image is Donnie Yen. I've got something massively controversial to say about this.
Here's my issue. This is another one of those issues I've got. Is a stick?
Yeah.
That is not a fancy weapon. That is a bit of wood.
It is a stick. And do you know the defining characteristic about this character?
No.
Steve?
No.
He's blind.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Has
he only got one leg, or is that just one?
That's just a shot. You can see
shot.
You can just about make the foot out in the background.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah.
He's got 3 legs actually, like
so he's blind.
Rolf Harris,
All right.
Peg. So this character's blind,
right?
And he's obviously a little bit handy. Now, there's been some talk as well that he may be force sensitive.
Yeah.
Right. At the end of there's major spoilers now for Star Wars Rebels Season 2, the 2-part finale, Twilight of the Apprentice. So if you don't want spoilers for that, jump forward 30 seconds.
Or so. Yeah, a minute or so.
Kanan is blinded by Darth Maul.
Okay.
So I think this might be Kanan.
Interesting.
In live action. So none of the characters in Rebels, none of the lead characters are white.
That's true.
We've been told categorically none of them are white. So there's no reason why this can't be Kanan. Now, I asked Freddie Prinze Jr. this. Freddie Prinze Jr. provides the voice of
he does
Kanan in the TV show.
Yes,
and he said they certainly wouldn't tell me, but I'm going to say yes.
Okay, interesting.
So there's a good chance that this could be Kanan. Now he might move away from the lightsaber.
Yes,
because of the loss of his sight
and the Jedi still being exterminated thing.
Yeah, and he's using a weapon that he's familiar with, and he's using the Force, and that's why he's so powerful in this thing.
Yeah. So there's like I say, I'm fully aware that Donnie Yen could kill me with that stick.
Yeah.
So let's not go crazy on
this.
But
it has got knobbles on it. It could be. Again,
knobbles. That's fine then. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be something they put in post production. I think. Is that a really poor shot of one of the camera guys on the left standing? No,
that's you can see part of a blaster, and then you can see a character in the background. I looked at
a stormtrooper head.
I took 2 looks at that as well, Steve.
Yeah. There's a crashed X-wing in the background as well.
There is. Yeah, and it looks like there might be like a parachute as well.
Yeah, it could be. Or it's crashed through something.
Yeah, unless it's crashed through something. But it looks fantastic. Still looks great.
Yeah, the S-Force are not locked either in attack position, so it's not been in a fight. It's just come down.
Yeah.
Maybe it's been shot out of the sky while
maybe it was that dog I saw flying a plane on the TV show before we started recording. And we get another shot of Donnie Yen as well, where you can kind of see that they've done something with his eyes. And then we get then we get to the special shuttle that you like, Steve.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool. And it shows really it's huge, isn't it?
It is huge. Yeah, it's enormous.
What's that to the right of it? Is that another?
It's a base.
It looks like a base, like a little command structure. Like maybe it's just a kind of, when you first land something, you have to sort of.
See, this is a tropical sort of area, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot shot in the Maldives.
Okay.
I actually wrote an article about it in December, and somebody retweeted it today. I don't know where they dug that up from.
Nice. You'd always be surprised when these things happen.
Yeah.
It's interesting that we saw forest camo kind of uniforms from both the Rebels and I think we saw some Empire ones. So it's entirely possible this is a planet with mixed terrain.
Yes.
So they've got a mix of everything.
And when the crew went to film in the Maldives, they took a helicopter with them. Okay. So there's going to be some aerial stuff in this.
Yeah.
And that's really that's the only way you can really appreciate the Maldives, I think, from the air. That unique sort of topography is better viewed from the air.
Yeah.
So we move on. We get a couple more of these shadow troopers. It's elite shock troops. They're going up. Those blasters look absolutely amazing.
They look awesome, don't they? Yeah.
And then we get the shot of what we assume is Ben Mendelsohn. And his
I think we can assume that's Ben Mendelsohn
and his white cape. And
like I say, but it's interesting because if you look in the background, there's loads of devastation and destruction near him. Like it's like he's come off the shuttle to kind of evaluate a disastrous situation.
Yeah.
So maybe they've been sort of trying to apprehend them and they've failed, and he's sort of on the planet looking for survivors to find out what happened or something like that.
Yeah.
So it could still be a kind of high-ranking political figure,
but someone that's not afraid to get their hands dirty.
Exactly. Yeah. So that'd be a great character as well, because we don't really see. Vader's kind of the most obvious example.
Yeah.
Ren, but you don't see a lot of non-Force users who are kind of hands-on like that in Star Wars. Right.
I like this shot, but
I love this shot.
It's the next moment.
Yeah.
This, to me, just does so much to say Star Wars.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it?
Screaming Star Wars. Clearly we got the Royal Guard.
Yep.
And we're inside an Imperial facility, but who is this hooded figure?
I'm going to throw one out there.
Go on.
Palpatine.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because why else would are there guards there?
Yeah.
It can't be Vader. Well, obviously not. But even without his helmet on, he wouldn't wear a hood.
Well,
I wondered whether there's something about composing a shot that would, because this looks like a reveal to me.
Okay.
With we've got something staged in the background being flanked by the Imperial Guards, and then this character is moving forward into the frame.
Yes.
It looks like a reveal, and I'm pretty sure this character is about to drop to his knees.
Now, it's interesting, isn't it? Because you wouldn't think the Emperor would do that to anybody.
No. And I would imagine that the Emperor is probably on the other side of him, perhaps.
Inside that glowing tube.
Yeah, maybe he's... Because at this point, the Imperial Senate is still in play.
That's true.
So
could that be a white suit, actually, but because it's in light lit from the front, it looks dark.
Yeah, you might be right there, Steve. I'm assuming that it's black, but it's because he's in silhouette because he's been backlit. Yeah. But I thought initially that this might be Vader, and he might have a hood up, because I don't know whether he's got a hood on that cloak or not. But and then because the Imperial Senate is still in place, you've still got the Emperor as very much a political figure, and this whole Death Star thing is being done off the books. Remember, so this might be him controlling things remotely. So we might see Palpatine, or if we don't see him, we might hear him coming from this. If he's a hologram.
I think you're right in that it's probably not Palpatine actually in that shot because
he's going to be on Coruscant, and then
he is kneeling.
And the composition of this shot, to my mind, if you're going to introduce Palpatine, you would reveal him. You wouldn't have him walking away from camera. You'd reveal him in a way that's impactful. Yeah,
and you'd have. I mean, that kind of. What is that thing in the background that is kind of walking towards? We're saying he.
Well, it's some sort of life support or a hologram projector.
That's what I'm thinking, hologram projector.
Okay, so it could be a crude one from sort of before they improved the tech.
Yeah.
I wonder, though, because there's a lot of smoke and stuff around it.
It looks almost like the carbon freezing chamber, doesn't it? There's so much in this scene.
All right, so here's a question, right? Could it be a Bacta tank?
Yeah, it could be.
What, somebody's injured?
And somebody's healing inside it.
Well, maybe the Palpatine's injured and the Royal Guard's protecting him.
Maybe. Or it could be Vader inside that, and maybe that's his kind of... Because we still haven't been given a definitive yes or no whether or not he's in the film.
Remember, at this point, Vader's still sort of junior to Tarkin.
True.
So I don't know whether he would have the Royal Guards. We didn't see him with the Royal Guards in Star Wars when he boarded the blockade runner.
True.
He wasn't afforded any of that sort of pomp and ceremony, was he? He was very much an enforcer.
Yeah. Could it be Palpatine undergoing some sort of life prolonging mechanics? Hence the guards are there.
Yeah,
I don't know. It opens up a lot of questions. I'll say that.
It does. This one shot really left me with so many questions, because everything else I've heard rumours about, or we've spoken about, or I've written something on the site about it, and this is the one thing I wasn't really expecting.
No.
But that bears further discussion, I would imagine, at some point later.
Yeah.
So we got more Forrest Whitaker looking like he might actually just be a head, and the rest of that could all be a robot.
Oh, it could be. Yeah.
Looks like
it's being kept alive by the suit.
Here's a nice geeky observation. This next character, who's clearly a bounty hunter, they've obviously put a group of bounty hunters together because they're so ragtag to do this assault. This Asian chap with a goatee beard, he's got it looks like Biff's baseball cap from baseball bat from Back to the Future 2 mounted on his back there. I think he's going to call Vader a chicken, and that thing's going to extend and cause a lot of trouble. And then
maybe.
Now this.
Do you reckon they got some mercenaries involved in this one?
Yeah, this is
a wonderful shot.
Oh,
this is the one I will say. Even the first time round, I thought that's incredible.
This is a money shot, isn't it? So we've got a ground assault. We've got people on foot, trying
to avoid the different fire. She's running forward with a pair of pistols in her hand.
Yeah.
So she's not, she's obviously not afraid. Just want to ease back to the Forrest Whitaker shot.
Yeah.
I'm just watching the trailer now, and I'm watching him talk, and he doesn't look comfortable in his own body.
No.
He looks kind of a little bit aggravated.
And we're assuming this guy is a good guy, are we?
What, Forrest Whitaker?
Could be another bounty hunter.
Could he be in that Bacta tank?
Maybe. Yeah.
That seems like a bit of a stretch to me. I think he might be a good guy. because he's got that warm American sound, and we're usually the Brits are usually the villains, right? Limeys. These Attack Walkers are a little different, and we've spoken about this previously, haven't we? With the panels on the doors, bigger. They do look bigger. They certainly look bigger than Rey's home did in Force Awakens.
Yes.
And they are absolutely brilliant.
And they move like the old AT-ATs as well.
Yeah,
they kind of swing you watch the heads swing
in
around.
Different directions and stuff, all covering each other, aren't they?
And the head just swings around to fire at them.
Yeah.
And they got that brown panel on the side you were saying about.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I wonder if these are sort of modular sections that get attached depending on what
they're doing,
what their responsibilities are.
Yeah, maybe
they open up and troops deploy from them, or maybe there are ships inside them.
Could
speeder
be
bikes or something. We've heard that they're going to be using the snow speeder type craft in this, although they won't be snow speeders, they'll just be speeders.
Yeah,
but they're going to make the rebels are going to have access to those in this movie.
Yeah.
I love this shot. I love this blue sky and tropical.
Yeah.
Seeing these things in that environment is fantastic. It's the flip side of where we last saw them, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
And then we get the final shot, which I think I might vote for this week's cover art, is Jyn in an Imperial Death Star Gunners uniform.
That does look awesome. And that shot, somebody drew a parallel between that shot and Mark Hamill in Cloud City's duct system.
Yeah.
So it's entirely possible that she's in a kind of similar situation. She's sneaking through some sort of area that she's not supposed to be going through, dressed as
a pair of
those guiding things, isn't she?
No, well, they're like almost like nunchuckers.
Well, I was going to say they look like sort of guiding rods, like like those people would use to sort of guide ships in.
Yeah.
So maybe she's a sort of flight deck. It's a flight deck uniform.
Yeah, maybe.
It's just awesome. It's such a cool callback to episode 4.
Yeah.
Where you get those gunners have got those sort of strange helmets that drop down. They don't have any eyepieces, just have like a little slit, don't they? And they have the cog emblem on the forehead. They look amazing. She's going to look fantastic. I think Diego Luna's also disguised as an Imperial Death Squad commander or something. So they're clearly undercover on the Death Star, getting something or someone. Maybe they've taken Galen and she needs to go and get her father.
Yeah.
Whatever it is going to be fantastic. So that's it. That's the whole trailer. I tell you, at some point we should just do audio commentary through the whole thing.
Yeah, I think I've figured out a way technologically to do it. So
that'll be good.
We'll have to chat about it at some point and see if I may have to sort of borrow the kind of technological hosting duties, even though I won't be the main host for the actual show itself.
Absolutely fine.
But whatever I can, I think I've figured out a way to do it. But I need to test it out, obviously, at some point.
Superb. Right.
Very good.
So, any other thoughts on this trailer? Because I have to go and watch this again, I think. Another half dozen times.
I need to watch it a few more times. I've just done another fourth one while we're talking.
Yeah, I love it. I'm loving that trailer.
It looks fantastic, doesn't it? It got thumbs up from everybody.
Teaser. That's what I will say. We spoke about that before, but it's at this point you would normally be having a full trailer, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and this isn't far off, is it? I mean, there isn't a lot in there in terms of narrative. It seems very much to be about the tone. And obviously an introduction to characters. This is more than a traditional teaser would be.
Yes.
But I think there was an embargo on any publicity for this until the end of last year because of Rogue Nation.